led every minute of the second half by double digits. They took a 10-point lead with 2:28 left in the second and led the entire second half by double digits. And they led the entire game since the 9:08 mark of the first quarter. This game was not close. The Bucks are the second best statistical team in the NBA, and the Jazz absolutely dominated them in this game tonight and went on to win it. They had different participants at different moments, at different times, who dominated. The Bucks tried every defense imaginable, tried some unique different things to start the game, and the Jazz had an answer each and every time. A remarkable, dominating, stunning performance by the Utah Jazz today to yet again add on as they win their 17th of their last 18. It's all coming up on POSTCAST. I'm David Locke. We are live after the ball game, the Jazz winning against the Milwaukee Bucks. We are live on Locked On Live, on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. We're live on Locked On Sports on Facebook and at DLock09 on Periscope. The chat room is open for you. Jump aboard and join us. I'll give you a few of my thoughts, and then I want to hear what you have to say after what was just an incredible performance by the Jazz. We went to halftime. I was flabbergasted by what I had just seen. The Jazz led the Bucks 69-52. The Jazz took a 10-point lead at the 2:28 mark of the left of the second quarter. The game never got inside double digits against a team that's generally thought to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is not good, and the West is throttling the Eastern Conference right now, but that's still awfully impressive to dominate in that fashion. Joe Ingles had 14 in the first quarter. Jordan Clarkson had 16 in the second quarter. Donovan got going with his passing and his zest in the third quarter, and then when they decided to take away our three-point shooting, the Jazz only had one three-point field goal made in the second half, and they held on to win easily. And the Jazz, at that point, Rudy Gobert dominated with 27 points of his own. Joe Ingles had another 27-point game. That's the sixth in his NBA career. Gobert with 27, Clarkson with 27, Mitchell with 26, and Clarkson with 25, Ingles with 27. Giannis finishes with a beautiful box score, 29 points, 15 points, and 6 rebounds. But in the first half tonight, Giannis was 1 of 3 shooting with 2 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, and maybe the game was already over by that point. The Bucks probably have a few concerns. They have not beat a top 4 team in either conference yet this year, and the Jazz were able to dominate them tonight. So from a Jazz standpoint, it's all good. It's all roses. Let's go to your comments. Joseph says, and we're doing this without Conley, who was generally playing as well as anyone we had. We're going to start getting nicks, and guys are going to miss games. And, the concern is that Joe, who played great, still played 30 minutes. You've umped Joe's minutes up. There's going to be an impact of guys missing games. Niang seems a little banged up at this point. So that's going to happen. They didn't even hit 8 threes in the second half. This has been my point all year. If you decide to take away our threes, then Rudy scores 30. You can decide to take away the Jazz threes and hug the shooters, and then the Jazz are going to go play 2-on-2 in the middle of the floor, and we're going to end up with Rudy's going to end up with 30. It's just how it works. And if you switch everything, then Rudy's going to get a bunch of offensive rebounds and hammer you tonight. We didn't have a huge offensive rebounding night, but we had enough. They felt mammoth when they came tonight. Rudy had 4 offensive rebounds. Favors had 2. And they felt big, I would tell you. They felt significant in the ballgame. The Jazz right now have an answer right to whatever you're throwing at us. This is what we're going to see. Teams are not going to let the Jazz shoot threes. We're not going to get 45, 50 threes off. Atlanta did it the other night. Mike Budenholzer did it tonight. We're going to keep seeing it. But the fact is that the Jazz offensive rating tonight was like a 123, which is terrific. And we'll win every game we have an offensive rating of a 123 this year, because otherwise our defense will have to totally collapse. The Jazz are really, really, really good, Ryan. Brigham says, impressive win considering the bad three-point shooting night. Milwaukee is completely predicated on the concept that you can't make enough threes to keep up with their offense. What they're not predicated on is the Jazz having a defensive game that holds their offense down to about a 109 rating, which is what happened today. The ball pinging around makes the Bucks question what was going on. The Bucks tried every defense. They were out of character. They tried things they haven't tried. I mean, there's a level of almost intimidation before the game started if you know the Bucks that they didn't play their style. The other thing, though, is the Jazz didn't really let them play their style. The Jazz came out with a game plan where instead of setting picks on the pick and roll, the Jazz just rolled before the pick. Well, you can't – if you're playing drop big style and they never set the big, then you're kind of caught in between of what to do. And so that strategy had the Bucks really flustered early in the ballgame. Joe for 27. Let's get this man a new career high. We are rolling. What a fantastic start to the game. Held the gas down the entire game. Love it. I always listen to this the next day. Cool to catch it live. Well, Colin, it's great to have you on the show. I have no words or questions. This game left me speechless. This team is incredible. Dominant, says Anthony. That's how I was at halftime. I want to know how many teams have ever had 4 players score 25 or more. Probably quite a few, actually. I would think. Maybe not. This run is insane. Enjoy and savor the ride. Take note, says Michael. That is the attitude right now. Alex says the Jazz have a lot of weapons in their arsenal, and I love it. And Kyler says, oh, my goodness, this is fun. The Jazz best non-free agency built team, at least. Well, Favors doesn't hurt. Favors was terrific tonight. He is a free agent. Bill. In 2021, we played 22 games. 19 have been blowout wins. The other 3, a win in Denver, a win against the Clippers, and a loss to Denver. My question is, what? We were also up 20 against the Clippers, by the way. The loss, actually, in some ways, the Jazz single loss in this stretch is actually the moment that is the one that makes you realize how great they are. What Denver had to do, be the first team in NBA history to go 8 of 8 from 3 in the first quarter. They hit 15 threes on the fewest attempts ever in the history of the NBA in the first half. And Jokic scored 47, and that's how we lost. That actually, to me, is actually the most impressive note that's going on here. What more do the Jazz need to do to prove this is real? I think actually everyone's buying. Like, I actually don't know who's out there left anymore that isn't buying. I know it's a cute narrative to play, but I think everyone's got it. Do you think that we'd win this game? I mean, I just don't think you're supposed to win. What is it? I can't even keep track. 17 of 18 games? I just don't think you're supposed to win. I keep thinking we're going to lose at some point. The Jazz beat the team with the best point differential by 15. Yeah, it's a good point. Right. It's a very good point. Not much production offensively from Royce, but man, was he incredible tonight. But that's the beauty of Royce. Like, Royce can have 10 rebounds, a dominating, an impactful performance, play 35 minutes, and not have to score. And remember, he torched the Bucks last time, so they clearly decided they weren't going to let him do it. Do you think part of Bogey's early struggles is him getting used to not licking his hands all game? Oh, I don't know. Is that like that he's – yeah, he did. I don't know. I think he just hadn't played in a while. Then I think it got in his head. Then he got rolling. Preston says Rudy Gobert's free throw shooting was amazing tonight. 9 of 13. Donovan was 13 of 14. What can this team improve on after performances like tonight? Sure seems hard to nitpick. The only thing I would say is they need to run more. They're getting a little stacked. They're running early, and then they run less and less as the game goes on. That would be my only thought. All right. Great stuff. Miami tomorrow.